So today we're going to talk about making a plate and having it ready for the printing presses and all the steps that go along with it. We'll talk about the stepping, the size of the plates, but all that goes right along with what we talked about before on press sizes. All of our plates will match the press sizes that's going to run on. Now if you notice on here, the original art, the color stopped right here, and that's the original size of our form. However, we build templates for all of our art to go into, and so we actually build this file bigger to fit into our template. But it is still 5.5 wide, and it's going to step accordingly, so it'll be right when it gets to the printing press. So having looked at that file and know that I got the right file, I can close out that. Then I'm going to take a PDF file right here, and I'm going to find my template that it goes into. And it's a 5.5 inch form, so it's right here, 22 wide, unit set, face, 5.5. I'm going to take that PDF and drag it into that template. Boom, this starts the process. Alright, I'm going to click go, and it's going to start creating a JDF, which the computer can use to talk to the laser printer and set the image up for the plate. This takes just a minute or two. That hand symbol up, that tells me that my file is ready to work with. So I am going to open that file up, and I'm going to release this file, and it's going to come up and show me my colors here. Now if I just need to reburn a plate, I can actually choose which colors I'm going to put out. There's my color for the screen on the front, and then there's my image with the text. But we're going to put out both of them, so I'm going to cancel that. Now here's where I also have to fine-tune the measurements for our plate for our lockup, how important it is for that 3/8 clear band non-print area. Well, I also have to tweak the image on the plate so that it falls in there and we don't have an image falling in a gap. And here's where I can do that. We'll go up here to media, and I'm going to move this 1.1. I'm going to move it 1/10 of an inch, and that's going to move it up on the plate towards the top 1/10 of an inch. Click OK and go. And that file is going to go back over to our production manager window, and that's going to pop up here in just a minute, and we'll be ready to send that plate through. We have different size plates for all of our different printing presses. The only difference in them is the size, the thickness, the width, the length. Everything is the same on them except the width and the length. And they have this blue emulsion on them. Now this blue emulsion will go through and the laser will etch on it. When it etches it, it will burn that image into this blue emulsion. And then when it goes into the dip tank, it'll rinse off everything else that didn't get touched by the laser. And that leaves us with our printable image. You'll see that in just a minute. From there it goes into a dip tank, and the dip tank's got some chemicals in it that will wash off all the emulsion that did not get touched by the laser. And that'll leave us with our printable image. Meanwhile, back at the Magnus, we've already loaded our second plate, and it's getting ready to start burning. Now, besides the chemicals that wash off the emulsion, it also puts a gum solution on it. What that gum solution does is protect the plate from the air, from oxygen. That causes problems on the plate if they sit. So it puts a layer of gum arabic on top of the plate, and it'll protect it until it's on the printing press. This plate could sit for a week and it wouldn't have a problem. And there's our plate that's ready to go right onto the printing press. And you'll see the other plate coming out of here in just a minute, right behind it. And that's our yellow plate coming out now. As you look, it looks solid, and it is solid. It's a solid image. But with that light yellow, you get a good yellow cover on top of your text. We couldn't run a dark color like that. It would just hide too much. In that case, we would screen it and take it down to maybe a 40% or even lower, a 20%, just to get a color tone, but not a solid ink. And here's our two plates for the job we were running at the printing press. That's our reflex blue image. And our yellow image that we laid down on top. And if you look, it's a 5.5 inch form, and the computer stepped it exactly 5.5 inches apart. Same with the yellow. So when we put them on the press, it'll all line up. It's got our registration marks on there to hold print positions and registration on the press and the collator, and to hold our color registration together. We also put on here what we call a smart tag line, and that gives us information on the job. So if the plate happens to be sitting by itself, somebody set it down or something, we can identify it. The pressman can also identify what part it goes to, if we have different plate changes, what color it's supposed to be, and things like that. But this image does not print on the final product. That's just for the manufacturing end of it.